we each will have our unique style. We may be
Yeah.
leaning into different qualities of self energy more because we have our own experiences, and so just embracing that as we learn the basics, we will have our own flavor, and I don't have to look like this trainer or that trainer.
Going Inside is a podcast on a mission to help people heal from trauma and reconnect with their authentic self. Join me, trauma therapist John Clarke, for guest interviews, real-life therapy sessions, and soothing guided meditations. Whether you're navigating your own trauma, helping others heal from trauma, or simply yearning for a deeper understanding of yourself, Going Inside is your companion on the path to healing and self-discovery. Download free guided meditations and apply to work with me one-on-one at johnclarketherapy.com. Thanks for being here. Let's dive in. All right. Excited to introduce my guest for today. It's Teddy Knebel. Teddy is an IFS therapist for individuals and couples in the DMV area. Teddy's also a dedicated PA for the Institute of IFS for Level 1 and Level 2 trainings. Teddy enjoys supporting therapists and everyday people who are new to the model and still carrying the impacts of cultural, systemic, and personal trauma. Teddy, thanks so much for being here. What else should people know about who you are and how you got here?
Um, well, PAing is a big thing of what I do. Um, Coming up, serving for 20 level ones and a
Mm,
handful of level twos. So that's been a big part of my journey as I uh, become a licensed therapist,
mhm.
and learning the model and sharing in the learning of the model is something that's given me the clarity and confidence to pursue that dream career of being a therapist.
Mhm.
So yeah, I am seeing clients and doing that, and hope to keep doing that for many years.
Yeah.
When you ask what else about me, we'll see. Notice a few things popping up and hesitation of where to go next.
Mhm. No wrong answers.
Right. And I can also comment on something that isn't apparent in the video that
Mm.
I also became totally blind in my early 20s.
Yeah.
So that's been a part of my process, adjusting to that and being a therapist without sight.
Yeah. What is that like?
Um, it's it's actually felt two things there, right? Of course, it's been a process, and you know, I did seek therapy with that transition,
Yeah.
and I experienced different types and qualities of therapy. So
Mm.
we can speak to that experience, and I, I think it's ultimately, I brought certain things to that
Yeah.
shift because it happened quickly. And I think one thing, even though we all have different fears and experiences of loss, I'm on the other side of it. And I remember it was like pretty quickly one eye and then the other.
Yeah.
And I was still going to undergrad. Uh, and I was like, well, okay, one eye went first in this particular way. And I'm like, well, if the other goes, I'll be totally blind. And what most people think, right? Game over.
Yeah.
Forget any of your hopes and dreams for the future.
Sure. Sure.
So a pretty dark possibility, but you wake up and there you are. So I still, due to my system, got out of bed and kept going to class on a campus that has a lot of stairs and different kinds of stairs. So luckily didn't bang up or twist my ankles too much,
Yeah.
which is still pretty wild that I did that without a cane at first, which
Sure.
is, I can't imagine doing it now and wouldn't recommend it.
Right.
But just that. And then, yeah, there's challenges learning about the world of accessibility. And
Yeah.
I am also having the thought, I haven't experienced that in the IFS community, that doubting of, I haven't heard anyone
Mm.
really voicing that to me. So that's been wonderful that I
Mhm.
can learn and share and support clients. And we can even comment more about the therapeutic dynamics of
Yeah.
how do we tune into things
Yeah.
that are happening for our clients. Um, how do we use our site, and
Mhm.
how do we, maybe we overuse it.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't, it was nice to see even a demo with Kate Gardner She stated she's like, yeah, in that session I was closing my eyes more to attune to what was happening inside the client somatically because a
Mhm.
lot was happening there. And I'll admit, there's useful information that people can get with their site too. So
Mhm.
I allow for both, and it again plays into each of us having our own strengths
Yeah.
as individuals, as
Yeah.
therapists. So
I
yeah, I
imagine
rambled some about that. So yeah,
No, I love it,
yeah.
I love it. I imagine, uh, there was a point at which you hadn't thought about the possibility of losing your vision until it was all of a sudden a possibility, or was it something that was always a
Oh,
possibility?
it didn't get much warning either.
Yeah,
Maybe a year or so. Um,
yeah,
yeah, because somebody else in my family, my grandma was like, this could be something for you to watch out for. And I was
yeah,
like, well, oh, I hope not. And that was the extent of it.
yeah,
So it was just happening rapidly, and
yeah,
yeah, as you know, there's always multiple things going on in our lives too. So
sure.
multiple losses.
This episode is brought to you by Jane, a practice management software and EMR designed to help practitioners run their business, not the other way around. Managing a practice can mean juggling more tools than you ever planned to. One for booking, one for documentation, another for billing. Each solves a small part of the puzzle, but because they don't work together, the manual admin adds up. Jane helps practitioners connect their core tools all in one place. Payments are taken and recorded directly in Jane, so billing stays accurate and easier to track. Jane Websites helps new clients find your clinic online. And if something needs attention, Jane's support team is available by phone, email, chat, with an understanding of how your entire system works together. For added peace of mind, Jane includes privacy and security features like two-step verification, role-based access levels, and HIPAA compliance so that you can feel confident in your practice and knowing that your client data is protected. Practitioners know better than anyone, a little connection goes a long way. To learn more about how Jane can support you, your clients, and your business, head to jane.app/demo. And if you're ready to give it a try, you can use my code JOHN, that's JOHN, for a 1 month grace period on your new account. Again, that's jane.app/demo. Use the code JOHN for a 1 month grace period on your new account. You're already on some themes around grief. Grief is
Hmm.
so central to the work, and the work we do with clients, right? And grief
Yeah.
is central to our own lives. There's also the kind of like traumatic grief of, gosh, I had never imagined my life without this thing. You know, I've shared this
Yeah.
before, but when I was in my early 20s, my dad died in an accident. And when my mom called to tell me the news, that was the first I had ever imagined, uh, him not being here.
Yeah. Sudden.
There's
So sudden.
there's
Yeah.
sudden yeah, the
Yeah.
suddenness, there's something unfathomable about, I guess just our ignorance to, like, what we could lose, whether it's a person, in your case,
Oh
your
yeah.
sight,
Right. Yeah. Of
and
course. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
So there's the shock, there's the trauma of it, and then eventually there's the grief once you can wrap your mind around, "Okay, my life is changing in
Hmm.
this way,
Yes. The
and there's
grief,
nothing I can do about it."
and at the same time, yeah, with whatever pace is needed or possible, the
Yeah,
adjustments too.
yeah,
Um, which yeah, depends too. If you, I imagine, I've heard stories, especially longer ago. You lose a spouse and all that disruption
yeah.
internally, and you still have to adjust for the practical at the same time. And yeah, for me, that I did have to tap into more patience and creativity
I bet.
and pausing. Yeah,
Yeah,
like even um, and I also noticed that um, yeah, we both in different ways lost a parent at it's a pretty early age, right? Yeah, at the
yeah,
start of the 20s. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, formative times, you think your
yeah.
life's gonna be one way, right? And it sounds like in your case, you're trucking along in college, and did you already have the plans to be a therapist?
I had the dream, but not the plans.
Okay,
And yeah,
what's the
honestly,
plan?
I really, because I didn't see the path. I, you know, my mom would take my bro and I'd like Barnes and Noble, and I'd be reading psychology books and magazines, and
Yeah.
that was like Friday evening in high school. So there's that long interest, and of course, we know the younger parts that lead us down this path too.
Yeah.
Deep roots for this calling, and but I probably overly focused on the and intimidated by the number of years to
Yeah.
be a psychologist, and so I guess in that sense, I don't want to sound like losses are all about silver linings here. So part wants to give that caveat, but
Sure.
something I did lean into more was audiobooks when I became
Yeah.
blind, and I used the time, and honestly, I finished a lot more books through audio than I did with
Interesting.
regular sighted reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that included enjoying very again in the vein of relationships and psychology and Brene Brown's books, and seeing social work paths, maybe that's something.
Yeah.
And then my most of my therapists have been social workers, so
Yeah.
seeing that, and then that plus IFS brought it together. So
Yep.
I was still trying to lean towards some science classes. I started engineering, and then had to tap out of that. Respect to people who can do that more easily.
As therapists, we hold space for so many, but who's holding space for us? If you're craving deeper healing and more powerful tools for your clients, I want to invite you to my free webinar on internal family systems therapy. IFS changed my life and the way I practice. It helped me move through burnout, reconnect with my authentic self, and show up more fully for my clients and for myself. In this webinar, I'm going to walk you through what IFS is and why it works, a simple tool that you can use right away, and how to bring this work into your practice, even if you're just beginning. This is for therapists ready to go deeper. Join us now with the link in the description.
And I just so there was
Could
some interest,
imagine.
but I was still doing psychology classes, so just kind of doing that as a double major, and
Yeah,
just intimidated. My
got
own
it.
heart's fears and hesitations.
From what I remember, and so where I met you is you were a PA in my level 1, and
Right.
I can add some colors to that. But from what I remember, uh, you trained in IFS before you became a therapist, right? Before you got your graduate degree
Right.
or something.
It was around the same time.
Okay.
So it was before I got my degree, and so I had that experience of doing IFS trainings while doing social work school.
So were you just disregarding everything your professors were teaching you, and you were like, "I've already found the model I love."
I was spreading the good word to my,
Okay.
in the discussions in class and in my
Yeah.
papers said, um,
Hopefully your professors
yeah,
didn't get too tired of,
um,
the,
but
teaching.
I, I hope maybe inspired some interest and curiosity in it. And so for my internships, I sought out IFS supervisors, which is really fantastic.
Got it.
And then even this year, it was pretty exciting. Frank Anderson came to my school, Salisbury University,
Uh-huh.
on the Eastern Shore, Maryland, and gave a talk on trauma and parenting. So I was surprised and excited to see that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's really cool. It's a small world the more
yeah,
you
you
get to
never
know
know.
the IFS
Yeah, oh,
people.
it is.
Mhm.
It is.
Yeah.
So
So
we met in training,
yeah.
and I
Mhm.
felt lucky to cross paths there. And anything that you want to mention from? Yeah,
Well, you
you could.
you would say something really
Hmm.
funny, over and over again, which,
Hmm.
I don't know. There's a qualm I have with IFS is like, um, it can feel a little too, quote, "woo woo" at times, and there's a lot of like, okay, just really listen to that, notice that,
Mm,
okay, just notice that space. Um, and then you would just break it up with being really real and funny. And
mm,
in the anxiety of therapists, myself included, trying to like get it right
mm.
in doing our, practice sessions, you would say that you were out of gold stars
Yeah.
every time or
Yeah,
something like
every time
that. And
I
that
know, I'm just always out.
I don't know if you
Sometimes I give
found
them
any,
to
but Or
I
you're
have to
still
give them
out.
to other people, and I'm all out by the time it's practice, which
Yeah.
is usually people's favorite part of training. Um, and yeah, I that's what I find a good use of humor to take the edge off. Um,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's something that I enjoy. I admit I haven't found a way that seems helpful to bring it in with my clients. I know some people talk about that,
Yeah.
and of course, I have a sense of humor. It's you know the only sense gets sharper when you lose your sight.
Mhm.
But um, with it does come discernment. I think
Yeah.
that's important. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that landed well for you, and that's what I tend to hear.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's always a chance that you know I'll stumble and have to
Yeah.
repair, and that's okay.
Well, I think for me, it just really spoke to, first of all, the anxiety of being new at something. That's an anxiety that I'm, quite familiar with. And coming into my level one
Mm,
training, I had been already using the model for a few years.
mhm.
Derek Scott was my original teacher and mentor. And, so I had, and I'd even been assisting in stepping stones for a
Yeah,
long time at that point and, like a PA type role. So I had
yeah,
my understanding of the model and then also learning like the trainer's understanding of the model for my unique level one, which it seems like they're all pretty unique and the teachers are unique and that's a good thing.
mhm,
Um, but you kinda get their version of IFS, I guess. So there's
mm,
just that anxiety of, like, being new at something, something
mhm.
feeling clunky, worrying that you're being evaluated or judged,
Oh yeah,
right? And we've got parts that really just wanna prove our worthiness, right? And if
mhm.
anything, because I had practice with the model, maybe even more so, I wanted to prove that, like, I have some competence already with the model, and that stuff,
Oh
it
yeah,
really comes up, and it came up more during my level 1 than I thought it would for me. It was more anxiety provoking than I thought, but it was also
mhm.
a good, uh, good practice of just being in the hot seat and thinking, "Gosh, I've got a lot of parts up around this idea of just, like, being evaluated or good enough parts?"
Yeah, because that's first learning something is frustrating and vulnerable to do in front of others who are our professional colleagues, and that's why I think it's wonderful that people are willing to do it in
Yeah,
trainings.
yeah,
And I kind of use humor to point that out too. That it's you don't have to,
yeah,
or we're just offering it. You already paid for it,
yeah,
and parts are up. And again, that's where we're touching on choice again. Like you can choose to take your turn or not. Um,
yeah,
you could still squeak by, and yeah, you don't have to do this practice round, but it's great to notice the parts that come up. And um, we do also want to support, taking the valuation out of the uh, learning
yeah,
because judgment is generally what we're protecting against.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah.
Mm, shoot.
Well, you seem to really be good at, again, kind of easing, therapist anxiety around learning the model.
Um, that's what I hope to do.
Yeah,
Um, to make it safe enough to practice and practice something that's so important to our identities, right?
yeah,
And so, yeah, that's what we do, supporting therapists in a training or supporting clients, having enough
yeah,
safety
yeah,
to work towards helping the parts that, yeah, are burdened and
yeah,
that's the others are really trying to avoid that judgment. And
yeah.
yeah, we know about that.
Tell me about
So,
how your
mhm.
relationship or even understanding of the model has changed and evolved over your time using it and also helping to teach it across, you said 20 some PA gigs, which that's a tremendous amount of hours and students. So
Yeah. Um,
that sounds like a gold
yeah,
star to me, but you know,
it's,
and I do
it's a
happen to
lot.
have one actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to have one? Okay. Yeah. It's in the mail.
It's a virtual one. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
it's a
just a
first. Thank you.
it's a GIF
Oh,
that's a sticker. I'll text it to you.
okay. I hope it's the blue star from Mario.
It
Oh,
is.
Um, and that is part of the upshot of getting to see, as you said, trainers having their own takes. So seeing
Yeah,
different trainers, yeah.
yeah,
And it doesn't change the heart of the work, but um and I have been touched, again by the continued willingness to practice and just how many awesome and unique therapists there are out there. And I want to point out unique too, because that's mostly pointed out in trainings, but
yeah.
I definitely heard it stressed by Kate Gardner in my level one,
Okay.
um, that we each will have our unique style. We may be leaning
Yeah,
into different qualities of self energy more because we have our own experiences, and
yeah,
so just embracing that as we learn the basics, we will have our own flavor and yeah, don't have to look like this trainer or that trainer. Um, so with the model,
yeah.
yeah, I don't
Mhm.
know if it's not changing at its core, but just helps me
Yeah,
by seeing it continue to go steadily forward for so many people. Helps that trust grounded in experience, which
yeah,
I like. Um, I think I like one little moment at the last day of the training because we have a little graduation ceremony, which I always love, and everyone can share whatever they want. And there was in a staff meeting, there's some concern of like, um, will it work out? Will some people share too much,
yeah.
and will we go over time because the training ends at a certain time? And the AT was really sweet, and I was like, oh, I don't want to cut people off. So of course, I came in half joking, offering to be the bad guy to cut people off. Um, Yeah, I thought I could offer that. Yes, yes, very good, thank you. And that would be the end of their share.
Right.
But then a buddy PA he came in, he's like, actually, I think we can just trust that it'll balance out. Some people will share more, some will less. And we're
Mm.
telling them what the target is, and it'll work out. And that made sense to me because you see a number of graduations and they do work out in that in many ways. And sometimes shit does go down too. But um, that trust and
Yeah,
base grounding it in experiences is great,
yeah,
in that setting, in therapy and life.
yeah,
And yeah, I guess partially running with that in my mind now that like could be part of updating too. Like,
yeah.
look, how things have been going and how we continue to do them together. For the parts that who can get more scared and caught up
Mhm,
in what might go wrong
mhm.
in the next hour or this
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
So
And that's a lot of what I think a lot about anxiety, and you
yeah,
just captured a lot of it, which is wanting to know more than is available to us, wanting more information than is available to us currently. What's gonna
yeah,
happen?
more
Am I
certainty
gonna
than's
be
available.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What's the stock market gonna do? Who's gonna be
Oh yeah.
president? What's the weather gonna be?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
and
I thought of that earlier. Sorry, with that,
go ahead.
because we experienced those personal sudden losses,
Yeah,
and then part of me, we have those parts that watch the news and are like, are we going to experience a macro level loss?
yeah,
In addition to the ones that we have been experiencing, that we're already having to confront
yeah,
and be with our parts and all those the pain and feelings.
yeah,
Um, yeah, what's next? Will there be a loss that we're not expecting, as you said?
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I guess part of me
Right,
wanted to put that out there,
right.
and people can, yeah, check in with their own anxious parts on that scale.
Yeah.
But please go ahead.
Well, something that has worked for me a lot, and again, this was like a Derek Scott-ism, which is I know if I notice there's a part of me that's worried about a thing, and again, it's like this part wants to know more than is available to us right now. And sometimes what we do is we try to just reassure or talk that part out of its fear, or I'm sure it's gonna be fine, which it's like you don't
Mhm.
know. So that doesn't really land, right? And we
Oh,
think
right,
about
that's the other one. That's the other side.
yeah,
That's like, yeah, yeah, don't chill out. It's art. Yeah.
chill out. Yeah, which can land like an invalidation of like, don't be ridiculous, don't
Mhm.
worry, calm
Mhm.
down,
Mhm.
right? So it really can subtly get into a dismissal. And I have this moment all the time as a parent. I was dropping off my 6-year-old this
Mm.
morning, and she was so thrilled all morning about the book fair. Did you have book fairs growing up?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it must be a universal thing or a very American thing. Like, 2 times a year you get to show up and you get to buy some books and the kids lose their minds. And it's really less about the books and more about like the little erasers, or like a scented eraser or
Yeah.
something.
My guess is that the bar is low, for the average school day.
It is.
Uh-oh.
So they just lose their minds, right? So she's been
Yeah.
excited about this
Great.
for weeks. And then this morning we're getting ready to walk in and she's like, Daddy, I'm scared. I'm like, okay, what are you scared of? She's like, I'm just scared. She's just like, I don't know how this is gonna go, the book
Mhm.
fair. It's like, okay, yeah, well, I know you've been really looking forward to it, and now you're scared. She's just like, I just don't know how it works or like what I'm gonna
Mm.
do once I'm in there. And as much as I want to try to just flat out reassure or it's fine or you're fine, because some part of her doesn't feel fine, right?
Yeah.
Or is confusing the excitement with anxiety or what if I pick up, the wrong book or what if I
Yeah,
you know
getting it right, all these things you could mess up maybe, yeah,
Yeah,
if I'm sensing that, yeah.
and
So
so the Derek Scott thing was just like, of course, there's a part of you that's worried or has so much built up around this that you're also scared. So I offer that to my own parts at times, and it tends to really help, and I encourage clients to offer that as well. Of course, you wanna know more. Of course, life is scary. Of course, we wanna know what the future holds, right? Or what's gonna happen to your life or your job or your marriage or your kids or whatever. And just offering that, like, of course, and
mhm,
really nothing
yeah,
beyond that is, I think, a nice response
right.
to anxious parts.
Yeah, that sincere validation,
That's my TED
and,
Talk, no pun intended.
uh, um, yeah, and I would add, another thing that is at the heart of it, and I imagine you'll agree that it's like, "Of course, and I'm here too, and I'll
There
be
you
here."
go.
That
Yep,
companionship, that's another great C word.
yep,
Um, so and that's part of
yep,
the process of continuing to connect. Yeah, yeah, we
yep.
agree.
I love that.
The yeah, I'm here, and we throw in other things like what else, but, uh, and I don't know if, Bob said it in one of your episodes with him, but if the suffering feels a bit big to be within the classic self-energy, internal way,
Yeah,
finding that spirit that's big enough to hold it.
there you
Uh,
go.
so,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah, together.
That we can go through this together.
Mm,
Let's see how this goes together is, I just think, a beautiful image. And again,
mm,
my little moments every day are as a parent thinking about this relationship between self and parts,
mm,
and what attachment is and what attachment means. Um, and again, it doesn't mean I'm going to get it right 100% of the time. It means, uh, I'm
mm,
gonna try to be there for the way you need me to be, and when I'm not, I own it and I repair and
yeah,
go, "Hey, can we try again?" Which is something that I think,
yeah,
for a lot of people, our parents had a hard time doing, right? I remember
yeah.
I was telling someone the other
Yeah,
day, I did and they did an amazing job. I don't remember my parents ever apologizing. I
mm,
apologize a lot to my daughter. If I, like, get something wrong or I've lost my
mm,
temper or whatever, I apologize a
mhm,
lot, and I don't remember that happening growing up, so that is something different about this, like, gentle parenting generation that's kinda going on now, but I think about that
mm.
too just from an IFS stance of, like, getting it right versus just really trying to be there and return to that connection.
It's great to be able to do things differently,
Yeah,
than our parents, and, yeah, as we heal the impact of those moments that were
yeah,
burdening,
yeah,
and, I couldn't even connect them. My mom would apologize, but the fact that there was a pattern, right? Because and I think they're including this more in level 1 trainings too, that it's repair is more than just I'm sorry, right? So
Yeah.
it's a process, and
Mhm.
I'm glad to hear about these examples that you're able to offer to your daughter.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I know there's a couple thoughts ready to jump off of that too. Where are we? Um, yeah, it's just admittedly, I know we touched on repair and book fairs, and checking with you because admittedly, I
Yeah.
didn't have. Yeah, sometimes I get rambling on, and
Well,
sometimes I have to check in and see what would be most useful.
I have a curiosity. I always have some curiosities, and we got maybe 10 or so minutes left.
Cool.
And this is a piece that you kinda led with early around being blind, but I'm I guess I'm curious how what's your relationship with that, and what's it like to position that in new encounters or new relationships or with, clients? And yeah, is that making sense?
Um, yeah, I disclose it in an initial contact with the client or prospective client, and with that, I like to be clear um, that I don't need much support around that end. That I'm really open to the thoughts, comments, questions around that.
Mm,
Just as with anything else, that I want to keep getting those thoughts, those concerns, that feedback,
yeah,
and especially as we continue to in the process, the first few sessions.
yeah,
So, and that's part of that. And honestly, I haven't heard um, much concern around it.
yeah,
Um, I'm just continuing to invite any of that feedback
yeah,
because, yeah, that's what we want to welcome.
yeah.
Uh, is that what you're asking?
I think so, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
to what degree has losing your vision shaped your identity? Or I guess, what does it mean to identify as a blind person?
Um, it's I think a couple things that it's brought to me is being aware of the importance of accessibility because that's where we run into the
Yeah,
most trouble. Will ableist mindsets that, of course, we've all internalized,
yeah,
along with all these other isms that we are the water we live in, um, and connected me to great people in the community,
mm,
like the NFB, National Federation of the Blind,
mm,
and that's been a wonderful part of that experience. And so the identity is about, um, again, being more free to be
yeah,
yourself and follow your dreams. And like the NFB's motto is, live the life you want. And
yeah,
interestingly, yeah, that becoming blind was part of the path that led me to one thing and another.
yeah,
I am
right,
living the life I want now.
yeah,
So it's, yeah, just increased awareness of that aspect of bias. And yeah, I still watch a lot of movies and TV shows with my partner
mhm,
because it's pretty prevalent to have audio narration tracks
yeah,
as an option. It's frustrating when, yeah, a new movie doesn't have it for some reason
uh-huh,
on streaming. Um, but yeah, still enjoy that.
yeah,
And I actually discovered it accidentally before I went blind, and it's pretty cool if anybody wants
uh-huh,
to check it out. It
yeah,
just tells you what's important to pay attention to.
mm,
And yeah,
yeah,
um, so same journey about
yeah,
authenticity and being able to stay true to what's important to you,
yeah,
and being creative and persistent with the challenges, new skills, inaccessible things along the way.
mhm,
So yeah,
yeah,
I feel fortunate that what I have dreamed of doing and hope to do for a long time, I can do blind.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thanks for sharing that. I guess what else do you feel like is missing from the conversation, if anything, Teddy? We've got, a couple minutes left, but
Mhm.
yeah, what else do you want people to know, or what else feels unsaid around your journey, your life, your journey as a therapist and an
Mhm.
IFS therapist?
Let me see. Hmm. One is that my journey continues. I like that Mike Elkin says, "In a year, we'll all be better at this,"
Yeah.
and he's someone who's been doing it for quite a long time.
Mhm.
And another quote that I like to share from Kate Gardner is, "If we're not having fun with this, what are we doing?" And I like to keep remembering that one because even though I can help, bring some humor in trainings,
Yeah.
I still need to keep working with my parts when I forget
Yeah.
that,
Right.
um, in this work that we do
Yeah.
and in life. So, um, I'll share that with everyone and
Yeah.
say it once more to myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, with that, just the offering steady companionship and trusting in each other.
Mhm.
And because that's right, I have parts that are sensitive to leadership.
Yeah.
I'm an Enneagram Type 9, and so the wing there's the 8 wing.
Yeah.
I know people may or may not be familiar. It's something you can choose to look into or not. I'm not
Yeah.
going to get into it in our final minute, but the 8s are especially sensitive to quality leadership that they can
Okay.
trust and
That's
injustice. So
interesting.
those are some trends there. Um, yeah, just noticing in moments of leadership.
Yeah.
Right, we talk about self leadership. Um, we're in the position of power leadership with clients, and um, sensitive when you're in a group and the leader is either not speaking up and addressing something that's happening,
Mhm.
or you can sense their managers coming out with some kind of wanting to control because there's some fear because
Yeah.
we can feel that. And and what if they could trust? Because that's something, as I already mentioned, I in trainings I trust the people that choose to come together and learn and grow together.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this together. And
Mm.
so there's that part that gets up in me when I'm like, oh, why are you anxious about this detail?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so I just ending with that again, companionship and trust, and hopefully we can have fun amongst all the serious concerns.
Yeah.
That's another. One other thing that I like to aim for sincerity, because we respect the everybody, and again, this IFS work is sacred.
Mm.
But to me, there's like a little sense of seriousness being a little closer to that fear. That,
Mhm.
we have to handle this with care, or it could go really wrong.
Yeah.
And again, that's, as Mike always points out, protectors put out fires with gasoline.
Yeah.
And sincerity and respect just feel better to me.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
yeah, yeah,
Sounds like a good note to end on. Um,
great,
awesome. Well, thank you so much for, yeah, being here and doing this. Like I said, I had wanted to get, this conversation, uh, have this conversation happen since I met you at level 1, and just really appreciated your humor and authenticity. Just really stood out to me, and it helped me learn, um, and enjoy that process more. So thank you for all your work you do there through the institute. And um, I've got here in your bio, you've got some openings for therapy as well. So I'll put a link to your profile, your institute profile, in the description, show notes, and everything. And
great.
for now, we'll leave it there, and I'd love to have you back anytime.
Well, I'm honored to join you here, and yeah, glad that you keep putting out so much wisdom, and happy to be in touch.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thanks, Joe.
Teddy. Thanks for listening to another episode of Going Inside. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe wherever you're listening or watching, and share your favorite episode with a friend. You can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at John Clarke Therapy, and apply to work with me one-on-one at johnclarketherapy.com. See you next time.